You run into the strangest people when you get out and about.
Yes, you do, don't you?
You never know who you'll run into at an event like this.
Absolutely.
Paul and I have been deer hunters for years and years, and one of the things that we were seeing was that the common hunter nowadays, it was being priced out of the ability to have good quality products at a very affordable price.
Got a little Gasper Goo.
Gasper Goo, yes.
Little Gasper Goo, little freshwater
That's
drum.
not a little, that's a nice little fish.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
You're the door greeter? You run into the strangest people when you get out and about.
Yes, you do, don't you?
You never know who you'll run into at an event like this.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, ma'am, I was supposed to be in Ford. I grew up out in the country. My dad got really sick.
But we may get into that.
So I went to school.
Jeff, these are top-notch feeders. You can tell that by looking at them. Gravity flow.
That was almost a June.
And right here, all these components. I know Paul will be here in just a bit to really show these off with us. Ultramatic feeder components, which we've got on your
You
plate.
betcha. Great feeders.
Hard to beat.
Oh, yeah. The little Vineyard Max.
You folks may be like me. You know, deer season may be over, the hunting season may be over, but deer season never ends. It's 365 days out of the year. We're here at the Fisherman One-Stop Outdoor Extravaganza today, and we're here particularly with the guys from Vineyard. These guys do a fantastic. Vineyard Max is what the company was called as far as the product that they have right here. We'll talk about that a little bit, but I'll get you guys to introduce yourselves very quickly and where you're from.
I'm Kurt England. I'm from Lufkin, Texas. Originally grew up in Port Arthur.
Woo!
And I'm Paul Moore. Grew up in Kilgore, Texas. Moved to Nacogdoches to go to college and never left. So from the oldest town in the state of Texas, Nacogdoches.
Yeah, that's a pretty good place to be from, I'll tell you.
It's not a bad place at all.
Really
We
is.
like it.
There's great people. Of course, there are great people scattered all across Texas.
Yes,
Tell us a
sir.
little bit about, we're looking at some feeders right here. And,
Yes, sir.
You know, we're coming out of the hunting season, but to me, when people forget, you feed the deer's rumen. You're not feeding that deer. You're feeding the microflora that's in there.
Yes, sir.
And when you change that real drastically, everything has to start all over again. So if you guys are feeding any kind of feed right now, you really want to continue doing it. Here's some feeders that you can use, and they're economically priced, folks. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so here I'm going to talk a little bit real quickly about our protein feeder, then I'll let Kurt talk about our broadcast feeder. All of the feeders built here at Vineyard Max are all built with high quality materials. We use 14 gauge steel on everything. Everything is totally welded. We don't use rivets. Everything is of high quality. Our feeders, our stand and fill feeders come with adjustable legs. So if you're hunting out in the hill country with elevation changes, you can adjust your legs to level out your feeder. Our protein feeders come with 4-inch feed tubes. On the inside of this particular feeder, we have taken a funnel and we've inverted it and capped it so that we get even flow out to all the feed tubes with our protein. All of our feeders come with a heavy-duty galvanized lid, come with a step for easy filling. Like I say, you fill it from the ground, but if you need to crawl up on a step, we got that as well. Now, I'm gonna let Kurt talk a little bit about our broadcast feeders.
Same thing with our broadcast feeders. You know, Paul and I have been deer hunters for years and years, and one of the things that we were seeing was that the common hunter nowadays, it was being priced out of the ability to have good quality products at a very affordable price. You know, a hunter nowadays had a couple of options. They could either go buy one of the good quality feeders that's out on the market, the big name brands, but their starting prices were $850 on up to $2,000. And then they had to fall all the way down to what we called a barrel in a box, to go to a big brand store and get a barrel in a box that had small conduit legs. The first hog or cow that leaned against it, it was on the ground. You lost all that expensive corn. And Paul's son, Colin, very, very talented fabricator, he said he was going to stop that. Our goal was to have a feeder that we could put in the $500 price range. And that's what we've done. We've taken 14 gauge steel frame like we do on our protein feeders, same adjustable legs. We do have 3 legs instead of 4. We use a heavy-duty varmint cage. Our varmint cage is a 4-gauge material. This varmint cage itself is custom made by a company out of Terrell, Texas, that actually makes HEB shopping carts. We all know what a beating shopping carts take. Well, we have a company that makes our varmint cages that are pretty much indestructible. It comes with a 12-volt motor and timer. We put our solar panel under the varmint cage. It charges at the same rate as it did when it was on the side of the unit. We do have a galvanized lid, and it's a 350-pound capacity feeder full of corn. We do not put a funnel in it. Some people didn't want funnels. We do sell funnels separately if somebody does. If you're a guy that lets your feeders go year-round, that's why they wanted us to take them out of it. But this feeder is in the $500 price range at most of the retailers that we have these feeders located. But it's a feeder that will last you 10+ years without any problems.
Well, Larry, how you doing, Paul? Good to see you.
Well, sir.
Okay,
well.
can I jump in here with
Yes,
y'all a
you
minute?
can. You jump right in.
Okay, Mr. Weissoon, Mr. Whitetail here, and I have been using this out in West Texas, out in way West Texas. And the question was, it's made out, these guys produce this, it's made out of grape hulls that have dried and gone through a hammer mill with a few other secret ingredients, I guess. But Larry and I was thinking, okay, are the deer out in West Texas going to know what in the world this is? Well, if you watch one of our shows, A Sportsman's Life, which is on Carbon TV, folks, you might be watching it right now, on YouTube also, we put a bunch of this out and we shot the deer. They would come up to it, and then we actually baited some places intentionally in little clearings and snuck up on the deer later eating the stuff. Larry, there was a reason that we had to do that, wasn't it?
Well, there are several things. You know, one of the things you mentioned is that so very often deer, as you guys know, it can be really, really thin. Yes. I mean, when we first started planting turnips and radishes, it took 3 years for those deer to get onto them. And even years ago in South Texas, when we first started working down there, you'd put out corn and it would finally just melt. Well, that was one of the things I was really kind of concerned about, to be honest with you, because here we're taking a product, there are no grapes of any kind in that part of the state.
Absolutely.
You know, unless they're in a vineyard somewhere up a little bit farther north, but a long way from where we were. And I thought, I wonder how these deer are going to react. You know, are they going to go up and next thing you know, man, they're running the other way. It had just the opposite effect. They ran to it. So that to me spoke very highly, because here were animals who were not used to even knowing, they had no idea what grapes were, or any kind of odor or aroma of grape, and yet they came to it, and that spoke very highly.
Awesome. That's great. That's great.
And something, an interesting sideline is Larry hunted out in California back, in October, September, at a vineyard.
Yes.
And out there, this is one of the few vineyards that did not high fence to keep the deer out. They actually,
Was that the Steinbeck vineyard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
that's it.
Yes, sir.
But to book hunts, and Larry took a nice buck. What I've learned being a layman is deer like this.
They do, and one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that during the time, bucks are subordinate, except during the time when they got hard antlers. And all the feeders that we had, you could sit at a feeder and all you saw was bucks. I mean, the does had been bred. They didn't want anything to do with those bucks, and we were there trying to harvest does. So
Yes, sir.
our plan is what he was alluding to a while ago, is that we put this away from the feeder to where maybe 100 yards, 150 yards, 200 yards away from the feeders, because the buck would come to the feeders and the does would stand out there and kind of, are they there, or not, and kind of thing. And that's when we really found this to work really well, because those bucks they chasing them. Doe came in, they got chased away. And so it worked absolutely perfect for us on the doe side, on the killing side. Now it worked the same way with bucks as well too. If we
Yes,
had bucks at that time.
True. It was way different than I thought. My theory was I had a new CVA muzzleloader I was breaking in. So I thought, okay, well, get out there. Larry dropped me off, and Jeff was with us and dropped us off at a stand over a corn feeder, and I'll shoot a doe in probably 30 minutes. I sat there, and I think there was 6 bucks together. I didn't see a doe. So thank goodness it worked. And
It worked.
We baited areas, and then.
Well, I'm glad that y'all had great results with it. When I started with this product, kind of thinking about it and looking at it, I thought I was actually making flower bed mulch, Larry. And I had this big pile of grape skins out there, and I went and I turned them with my tractor. Deer tracks were everywhere, and that's what started the process back in 2019. And then we've had a lot of things that we've had to figure out. We had to figure out how to dry these in the masses. And like right now, we've got 18,000 pounds dried from last year, ready to hammer, mill, and mix, and to get into the hunter's hands for next year. So it's been a fun journey, to say the least.
One of the things too that makes it unique is that it's all natural ingredients. So it's four components: red and white grape skins, corn chops, and rice bran. So it gives you the ability to hunt it 2 ways: either a concentrated aroma pile to get the deer coming into an area, but we also layer it in our corn feeders that will not plug up a spinner and all of that on your motors, because it doesn't have those artificial sugars. Right. So every time your motor goes off to put out corn, you put a fresh layer of grape skins on the ground to keep that aroma in the area for the deer.
Works really well that way. Yeah. Great point, Bert.
Yeah.
I think the aroma is a big deal, because you can put this out. I can smell it downwind, so the deer can.
And that aroma really comes from the red grape skins, because they've gone through the fermentation process, and that's really where that smell comes from. The sweetness comes a lot from the whites, because they have not gone through that fermentation process. They're crushed immediately when they're brought to the press. So.
Well, someone that wants to learn more about Vineyard Max, the attractant, or these awesome feeders, website?
Yes, www.vineyardmax.net, and we're also on Facebook.
And on our website, we have a locator map. We have approximately 74 stores now throughout East Texas where you can find most of the Vineyard Max products.
Awesome. Well, there's 2 back here with Mr. Jeff Bryce's name on them. I guess it's time for us to load up.
Load them up and take them out to the ranch for sure.
Tickets. The drawing will be at 2:30. We have t-shirts up here for $10. And now we're going to have a few words with Luke Clayton and Larry Wyson.
Thank you, Donna. Are we having fun out here or what? Larry, most of y'all can't see Larry. Most of you know me. A lot of you do. I've been writing for the papers and all for years. But Larry's up here visiting with us, Mr. Whitetail. I know a lot of you watch Larry on TV for how many years, Larry?
probably as long or longer than most people that are alive that are standing here. It goes back sometimes back in about the late or early 1980s or so. But what an absolute pleasure to be here, as Luke said. A great event, seeing all the vendors and all the folks coming in. And, you know, the good Lord blessed us with an absolutely fantastic day as well, too. So we can't do anything but tell them thank you for that, because I think when we were going to do this last time, we were really concerned about the maybe getting here and then maybe even worse, trying to get home kind of thing. So we're so glad that everybody's here, and hope that you have a really good time. Luke and I are going to be around here. We got Jeff Rice with us as well too. Jeff and Luke and I do a TV show called Sportsman's Life that you can find on Carbon TV and YouTube, and even on some websites like mylarryweissoon.net. You can hook onto it there, and so much of it is from this area. I mean, occasionally I get to stray out a little bit, but you know, we do a lot of hog hunting. Jeff calls it real world outdoors, real world hunting, real world fishing. If we go fishing, we don't catch anything, we show it. If we catch anything, we do it. And then the good thing is, if you like to eat, we got old Luke Clayton over here that knows how to cook really well. So that being the case, a lot of times Jeff and I will we'll try to maybe out catch him. That's kind of tough to do, but then when we do, we'll sometimes clean fish, but most time Luke's kind of like my old dear friend Jim Zumbo from up in Colorado, and that he wants to do it all. So I mean, Jeff and I'll just kind of sit back and, you know, and give him that opportunity, right, Jeff?
Absolutely. Well, Larry, you got to have one of such in every group, don't you? I tell you. But our TV show, many of you probably don't know about that, but it's a Sportsman's Life. Jeff has got a ranch not far from here, so it's kind of our hub. We operate out of there and hunt hogs and have an absolute ball. But Jeff's passion is videography, so he actually builds our show every week. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know another outdoor show that you can watch every week and it's a fresh show. And real world outdoors, yeah, now you've seen Mr. Whitetail here kill some stuff all over the world hunting on his shows. But I think Larry would be the first to tell you that doesn't happen every time you go out. Well, we show what really happens. Sometimes we get, you know, game and fish. We do good, and sometimes we don't, but the show portrays it. Now, Jeff, come here a minute, buddy. This is our buddy Jeff Rice, and one of my best friends ever. But Jeff puts it all together, and it's got to be a challenge, Jeff, to do that weekly. But if you didn't have a passion for it, I don't think you could do it.
Yeah, it does take a little time to do, but you know, we have fun doing it, and like you said, Luke, I mean, it's real world outdoors. It's we don't always shoot a deer, we don't always catch a fish, but you know, we definitely have fun. We get out there and we show it like it is. You're going to get tips. You're going to get cooking tips from this guy. You're going to get hunting tips from this guy. And I'll give you a tip or two along the way as well. Well, we certainly have a lot of fun doing it. Y'all need to check us out. Again, LarryWeissoon.net. You'll find the show there. CatfishRadio.org. You'll find the show there. Carbon TV, A Sportsman's Life. You can go to YouTube. Just type in A Sportsman's Life, and you can watch our shows. So join us each week. We have a great time. We do have a lot of great content and go a lot of fun places and do a lot of fun things. And again, it's real world outdoors. So thank you all for coming out today, and just enjoy this absolutely beautiful day. And let's go wander around and see what else we can get into here, because there's a lot of things going on here. We'll be back, folks. Thank you.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter.
Finally, that's a freshwater drum.
You got a drum?
Yeah. Got a little Gasper Goo.
Gasper Goo, yes.
Little Gasper Goo, little freshwater
That's
drum.
not a little, that's a nice little fish.
I know, and those are actually really good to eat too, so I'm
Check that
Oops, I'm
out.
slipping and sliding down here in the mud now, but
Yeah, it's a little muddy down there. Larry and I are out here creek fishing.
absolutely. Just finished a great event over at
Yeah.
Fisherman One Stop and came
Yes,
out
sir.
over here to Jeff's and tried to see what we can catch. And Jeff pretty much quickly caught a one of the things we're here for, the sand bass. And then here I caught this one right here. It's a absolutely beautiful fish.
Yep, we're gonna fillet him right along with the rest.
Absolutely. I grew up eating Gasper Goo.
Oh yeah. All right, we got two options.
What's that?
Come back with catfish bait down here, or go hit the pond.
Go at the pond.
Okay.
I got a feeling we can catch at least a bass or something out of there, maybe to finish off that fourth fish for 8
We need,
fillets.
yeah, we need one more fish for a fish fry.
One more fish for a fish fry.
All right, let's go do it.
But even if we didn't catch anything, what an absolutely gorgeous afternoon. Slightest little breeze.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool enough. There's fish in here. Obviously, we already both caught fish, so we
Oh,
know
yeah.
they're here. So
Yes,
we'll
they
come back
are.
in the morning and mess with these.
Oh, we're gonna catch some in the morning, I promise you. I gotta change some line out on a couple of those reels
Okay.
that got bad memory on them. So
Got that there.
let's go fish.
To catch a big fish, it takes a real fisherman to catch a small one. I felt him,
Nice.
felt him hit a couple of times, and next thing I know, I jerked him out of the water when I set the hook.
Your bait's almost as big as he is.
The bait is as big as he is, I think. You want to keep
Healthy
him.
looking fish, though.
He is healthy. Look at the color on those things. To me, that's one of the beauties of fishing in this part of the world, being up here in the kind of the northeast part of the state. Is the water, there's a lot of tannic acid in it, and for whatever reason, it makes those fish just absolutely gorgeous in terms of colors. But they're biting.
Healthy. Let's go catch a bigger one.
When you-
All right.
Now that one,
That's another cast. Yeah, we can keep that one.
tore the dead gum.
Oh, we got plenty of those.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just gonna leave it like it is, and I'll try it like that. Again, look at the color on that fish. They're
That's a
just
nice fish right
absolutely
there.
beautiful.
Yeah, good pound. Nice
Yeah,
fish.
he's right at a pound.
Yeah.
Got dark color.
Yeah.
Good. We'll keep
That's
him.
called two excellent eating fillets right there.
That's exactly called.
Dinner.
And
Call
we're
him
fishing
dinner.
we're fishing for dinner, folks.
We are fishing for dinner.
I love Jim Zumbo's catch and release thing, to where you catch fish and then you release them in hot butter. That's what we're
Yep,
going to do with
that's
this.
exactly right. All right, let's get a couple more just for fun.
Fillets getting ready to go into the hot pan of grease, and then it'll be time for eating. Jeff fortunately caught a white bass early this morning before we went to the event that we had going on over at the Fisherman's One Stop, and then we came out later this afternoon afterwards, and I was able to catch a Gasper Goo. Now, for you folks who don't know what a Gasper Goo is, it's a freshwater drum, and it probably weighed about 2 pounds or so. Jeff caught another white bass, and then we went to another pond, and I caught about 1.5 pounds or so black bass, and so that's what's for supper?
Dinner.
Fish.
Yeah. You
What's
got
for
it.
dinner? Fish. I don't care whether you're from the south where you call it supper, or whether you're from the north and you call it dinner. That's going to be good.
Groceries.
Groceries.
All right, our grease is just about there,
And I
buddy.
love your pan, Jeff. That is phenomenal. I've seen a lot of fried pans in the past, and I've used a lot of fried. I've never seen one quite built on that order. And you were talking about earlier. There's the outer. No, I'm talking about the outside is copper, and then
Stainless is on the inside.
Stainless.
And then between the copper and the stainless is cast iron.
oh my gracious,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's phenomenal. I've never seen one like that, so I can't wait to see what it tastes like.
It works
Put
very,
in
very
there.
well. Yeah.
Oh, I can only.
You ready to
imagine.
fry it up? I think that it's probably ready.
Well, I think so too. I'm starting to see a little bit of heat. I mean, coming off that. Oh my gosh, yes. Let's try it.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yes. We're going to throw this in pretty quickly. Just to season this. It won't take long to cook. There's some pieces that are a little bit smaller. And it's a combination of what we talked about earlier, white bass, black bass, and gas lagoon, or freshwater drum.
Look at that.
Remember, you cannot live on venison alone. You need to have a little fish.
That's correct.
Swallow. It's
That's
time to catch fish now. So.
Yeah, those sand bass are definitely up in the creek. And
Yes, they are.
man, that is so much fun. Matter of fact, when we get done eating, I'm going to go restring a couple of our
Your
reels. Yeah, some of those reels have some line that's, I don't know, it's twisted or something, so we're going to fix that.
Yeah, it is.
So tomorrow morning, we'll get up, have coffee, and
Catch fish.
catch fish.
They eat more fish.
Eat more fish.
A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Mossberg, American Built, American Strong, the YO Steakhouse, Catch and Release Apparel, AGM Global Vision, your go-to for thermal hunting scopes and spotters, Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air guns, and Vineyard Max Deer Products.
Hello, sports fans. It's Bill, the old man at Striper Express, with your fishing tip this week on A Sportsman's Life. We're going to talk electronics. We have as many Lowrance units as we do Humminbird. I just bought this second Garmin unit, this $700 unit. That's pretty reasonable nowadays because this costs $2,000. You can spend up to $3,000 on your boat. People ask me for the 25 years that I fished, what is the best? The best is what you are confident in. YouTube is your friend. Get on YouTube, look at what they got. It's amazing. They've got down imaging, side imaging. My guides sit there for about 100 feet left and right. Stripers are schooling fish. Which way they go. Look at your screen. Boom, there they are over there. It's amazing. Makes you a better fisherman. So, check out your electronics. Find out what you like. I think they're all pretty much the same. So, what do I always say? This is your fishing tip. This week on A Sportsman's Life, go catch a fish.
Playing in the mud.
Playing in the mud is right.
Well, our decision to take the east fence line road down to the creek to try to a different spot to catch some sand bass turned out to be a muddy mess. We finally got ourselves unstuck and headed back to camp to clean up the buggy and decided, well, let's just head back down to the dock where we were catching them earlier and see if we can put a few more in the bucket.
what we are looking for right there, folks. Let's back this out. You can take a quick peek at this thing. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful sand bass. Catching them on this beetle spin. That's what we're using to catch these sand bass. They're just beautiful fish. Springtime on the creek here at Lake Fork. Larry and I are having some fun. Isn't that pretty? All right, back to fishing. Another fish on here. Let's get him up here. Whoa, man. Look at that one, Larry.
How about that? That rascal put up a fight too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Oh my goodness.
That is an absolutely dandy fish. Look at that.
That is. Whew, look at the fillets on that one. That's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful?
They're so pretty.
That's
Evidently,
wonderful.
they fight like crazy too, don't they?
Yeah, see how the ripples in the water have
Yeah.
picked up? That's what we need right there.
Okay,
That's gonna, I think that'll increase our odds for catching some
Yes,
more
sir.
of these. This is number 2 for the morning. And Larry's looking for Gasper-goos. I'm trying to catch sand bass, so.
After I caught that one yesterday, it fought like crazy. I'd forgotten how much they fight, and I also had forgotten how good they tasted because last night, oh my God.
Wasn't that a good dinner?
Oh my goodness.
Boy, I
And that
hooked
was
him.
a good combination too. Yeah, that one was not going to come loose. They're still not coming loose.
I can't get that out. I need to get my pliers.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm going to head back down the creek a little bit.
All right.
Way to go,
Good
sir.
luck. Let's get some more. That. Yeah. That's what it's all about right there.
Yes.
Folks, this segment was brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Smoke in Tex Electric Smokers, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, YO Ranch Headquarters, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro. Tune in next week for some more real-world outdoor adventures right here on A Sportsman's Life.